All right, I think we are back. Welcome back to episode 4. We have been cranking these things out. Hopefully, I can keep them going. My kids are back with me from the grandparents. That's been a lot of crying today. Not wasn't used to it. Well, I've been used to it, but I forgot about it until today. But today will be another predictions. I saw some more different articles I'd like to talk about. I found a few topics as well, so wanted to go over that. Interesting story I was reading here. The Sixers possibly could move to New Jersey. How true it is, I don't know. They were talking about it. I think their lease ends in 2031 from what I was reading. So, do I think it's possible? No. Just because the Nets were in New Jersey at a time. I know Brooklyn. You have Brooklyn. The Nets are in Brooklyn now. I do know that. But I don't think Philadelphia would let that happen. Just the city of Philadelphia. They would figure it out. They did say, from what I'm reading, is the Sixers plan to build a new venue downtown, but it's stalled. So I think that might be the reason this is starting to surface, just because it's like a contract dispute. So like how we talked about Jimmy Butler liking the Nets post. Same thing. You throw things out there. Hey, we might potentially leave in about 5-6 years if y'all don't if y'all don't get it together. Now, is it really going to happen? No. It's just trying to speed the process up. It says also that the state offers the new team site, but it's on the ex-prison site, so I'm not sure if the team wants to do that. But it is saying New Jersey is trying to entice the Sixers to move there. Now, I'm pretty sure New Jersey, obviously have the money. It says the governor's trying to help in that as well. But I think this is just news you can just flush down the toilet. I don't think anything will come from this. If New Jersey's going to win a team, they're going to have to probably get an expansion team, just being honest. I don't see much from this at all. If a team was to move, let's think. Some of our worst teams in the league. The Hornets, I feel like the Hornets the franchise has moved too much. Or the Pelicans, those franchises have moved too much, entirely too much in my opinion. I'm trying to think just of lower tier teams. I honestly think it would have to be an expansion team. The NBA teams make too much money nowadays for them to even think about just like getting up and leaving. Yeah, because even in any city, really, I'm trying to really think of even a city like Minnesota, because the thing is, once you get a star player, they're going to bring in fans. Excuse me. And once they bring in fans, they bring in dollars. That's all the owners is really caring about. Think about it in Charlotte. Charlotte's not going anywhere. They have LaMelo. LaMelo's bringing his own set of fans almost worldwide at this point. And he's barely on the court. So even a team like that who's not good, somebody like Portland, though. Would Portland move? No, because Nike's out there in Portland. I'm not sure how close. I think I read somewhere in the past that the owner of Nike was trying to buy the Blazers at a point in time, but I'm not sure if that ever materialized. But it would have to be a team like that. But your team would have to be bad for years, like how the Kings were. But then the Kings got better. So, yeah, this story, honestly, I don't think there's any legs behind this. In 6 years, Joel probably will be gone. Paul George will be gone. Tyrese Maxey will still be there. And by that time, they'll probably either get some new players or they'll be in the rebuild again. Trust the process. So we'll see that again. Talking about trusting the process, a fun little thing I read. Watch this. Fill in the blank. If LaMelo suits up for at least 70 games, the Hornets' ceiling is what? Um, if I had to answer this, I would say play in at best. I don't think it matters if LaMelo plays or not. LaMelo, I still don't think they're a playoff team. I don't think they're a top 6 team. And I think when I say play-in team, I say in the 10 or 9 seed. So they're playing in their first round game to see who gets knocked out. Yeah, I don't think he makes as much of a difference as he probably should. Yeah, I don't think it matters if he plays or not. I'm not even sure if LaMelo's even been to the playoffs before. I guess this is my podcast. I can look it up just to see. But yeah, I'm not even sure if he's played in the playoffs because he's been hurt so much. Now they do have Bridges. I forgot about that. Yeah, LaMelo's never been to the playoffs. He's never played in the playoffs. Yeah, and if you look at his games played, so he's played 51 his first season. He played 75, which is good. He made an All-Star game that year. And the past 2 seasons, he's played a total of 58 games. So, and the year that he was All-Star and played 75 games, let's see what the Hornets actually, see what the record was. They were 43-39 and finished 10th. Sort of similar to what I just said. So, I'm not sure. I don't think he solely makes the difference. Now, you get Miles Bridges, have Brandon Miller. I personally think they need another guy. I would prefer a big man. I don't think they have a big man on this team. Let me check this roster if they have it on here. Let me see, unless they sign somebody. Taj Gibson is still playing. He is on their team. I forgot Seth Curry's on their team. Grant Williams, that's not the big men I'm talking about. Nick Richards. Nick Richards is a guy, I believe, him and Mark Williams are guys that championship teams should try to go get, in my opinion. Guys that can block shots, they can run the rim. More so Nick Richards than Mark. Mark's a little slower footed, but I think I will still go get both of them. Trey Mann's over there. JT Thor. Oh, JT Thor is still over here. JT Thor looked good with South Sudan in this summer. That'll be interesting to see how they use it because he was definitely playing guard over there. And to be a 6'9", 6'10" guard is pretty good. Josh Green got traded over there. I didn't realize he was here as well. I forgot they drafted this guy, Tidjane. I'm sorry, Tidjane. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. If he's good, I'm pretty sure I'll figure it out. But yeah, Miles Bridges. They don't have a big man that can score anyway, and it's tough to get something like that. They do have the rim runners in Nick Richards, Mark Williams. Mark Williams could score a little bit in college, so I'm not sure if they really use him like that to score. I want to see. Yeah, because he shoots 64% from the field. He actually averaged 12 points a game last year, but he only played 19 games. So, like somebody like him, yeah, because he was averaging 12.5 points, a little over 12.5, almost 10 rebounds a game. That's somebody I'm pretty sure they could have used. Yeah. So, it'll be interesting. Yeah. But if they're bad again, if I'm a championship team, those are the 2 players as far as big men. If I need a big man like somebody like the Pelicans, if we are in a championship type push, those are the type of guys I go get. They shoot a high percentage. They're looking to block shots. They're looking to get rebounds. Those are the types of guys I want on my team. But I don't think LaMelo playing 70 games makes as much of a difference as we think it does. I think it's going to be the other pieces. Brandon Miller gets better. Miles Bridges has been on the team. There still doesn't really help, just being honest. He's a good player, but efficiency-wise, he's just average as well. That's the problem with a lot of the guards right now because you have Trae Young, you have LaMelo. I talk about Cade a lot because he's in that boat as well. They score, they have put up good numbers, but when you start looking at the efficiency, it's not as good. That's why that year the Hawks made it deeper in the playoffs. If you look that year, Trey actually shot the ball really well that year. I want to say he shot 38% from three, if that's the year I'm thinking of. And it's a huge difference. And you can see how the offense, it flows better. Now, I honestly think the problem with Trey is he takes all these deep threes, these 35-footers, and I believe when he's closer to the three-point line, he actually shoots closer to 40%. And honestly, I'm not sure if I know LaMelo takes deep threes, but he honestly is not on the court long enough. Cade is in Detroit. I'll probably pay more attention to these games. You know, I'm running NBA podcast now, or live stream, however we want to call this. So I'm going to be watching a lot of everybody this year. But the thing is because you look at highlights, but that doesn't necessarily tell you how somebody plays. So I'll be diving deep into some of these games as well. But LaMelo shooting up. Ooh. Don't do that. Him suiting up for 70 games, I don't think it makes a difference. They'll have to get a player. They'll have to get some better players than they have now. Because them having guards, they have smaller guards like Seth Curry, good shooter, but I don't think that necessarily makes a difference in their lineup. Yeah, they need bigs. If Mark Williams can play, that should help. But I do think they need another scoring piece, in my opinion, because I don't think this is work. Miles Bridges not efficient enough. LaMelo definitely isn't. Brandon Miller actually was okay as a rookie, so if he develops, that might change things actually. But then they did pick up Nick Smith Jr., and I think the guy they drafted this year must be a project. I can't see it. So they do have Taj Gibson for toughness, but that's probably about it right now. Because Taj is probably is he almost 40? Yeah, he's got to be close to 40. So, yeah, I don't think that makes much of a difference. Okay. 2 more topics, and then we're going to get into our predictions. But this podcast is sponsored by no one. Let me stop playing. Okay. 2 more topics. We're going to get into predictions after that. So, I was reading this thread. It said, in your opinion, which players are on their last chance this season? And I saw some names on the list. I have 3 that I believe are probably done if they don't show anything. I'm going to go in reverse order. No, actually, should I? Because number 1 on everybody's list, I believe, should be Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons doesn't show up this year, he's probably done. Because at this point, he's just been stealing money from everybody. And the thing is, he still can't shoot. And the thing is, he won't shoot the ball. So the thing is, you made it to the NBA by scoring the basketball. Now you're not going to do it. And he stays injured, constantly hurt. I know he has a larger contract. It seems like people think they can make it work with him, but there has to be a mental block there. And it's gotten so bad that now he has become a shell of himself, just being honest. Now, the injuries did not help either, but I think a lot of this is mental for him. Sad to see, but it is what it is at this point. Number 2, we have James Wiseman. James Wiseman was the pick before LaMelo. You have Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, and then LaMelo. So I know the Warriors are regretting this pick. And James Wiseman only played, how many games in college did he play? Did he play 3 games at Memphis? And everybody, he was projected the number 1 player. And that's what's going to start getting teams in trouble. These projections for the number 1 players in high school, and it not translating over. And it's going, especially for the big men, because it's starting to become apparent for these guys that aren't shot creators. If you're not a shot creator and you're a big, yeah, you probably shouldn't be a number one pick. Just being honest. And that's what's going on with James Wiseman. He's a okay rebounder. You won't even say he's not a good rebounder. He's okay rebounder. He can score, but you could tell he was slow coming into the league because he couldn't run the offense the Warriors needed him to run. They needed a big. That's why they took him, because if not, they should have taken LaMelo. But they needed a big, and he couldn't run the offense. That's why they had to keep Draymond out there and Draymond playing the 5. And they wanted to play him, but they just couldn't. And it sucks because he goes to Detroit, and they were trying to play him over Jalen Duren. I'm not sure why. But then you realize, Jalen Duren is, I think, 19 or 18 at the time, and is outplaying the man. So you can't play him over him. Now James Wiseman, I believe he is in Washington. Let's actually take a look to figure out where James Wiseman is. Because he's not still in Detroit, is he? Honestly, I don't know where this man is. He's been in the league for a little minute, though. But I think this might be his. I think he's still in the league. I hope he's still in the league. Because this might be his last shot. Oh, okay. So he signed a 2-year deal with the Indiana Pacers. That's where he's at. Okay. Yeah, so we'll see where he goes and how he does. But I think he's going to need to get significantly better. I'm sure the Pacers would trade Miles Turner if he did get better. But right now he's just going to be in a backup role. And I don't think – I hope he gets better, but it's not likely. Usually when you see these players, they've been in the league 2-3 years. If you haven't seen any improvement by then, more than likely that player is going to be who they are at that point. And my third and final player, which sucks to say, because we drafted him, and I had such high hopes when we drafted him. I just knew he was going to be a compliment to Trae Young. I knew how great he was. He was great in high school. He didn't get a fair shake in college because he was relegated to the third option. But when we saw that, we should have known. And we should have been able to tell that maybe he needed more development than we initially thought. But he could still score in college. But we just we just didn't know. We just thought since he was the third option in college, it would be like a Devin Booker situation, where Devin Booker wasn't necessarily a starter, but we started being able to tell he could do more than just shoot the ball. He could actually score the ball. And this person is Cam Reddish. If Cam Reddish does not show up, I think he might be out the league, because the Lakers is his third team, I want to say. And if there's no improvement, defensively he's there, but he was such a good prospect. And honestly, for him to fall to 10 in that draft, I remember being so happy, because I was like, there's no way he falls to 10 because of what he could do offensively. But then it's like the progression never happened. And now he's on his third team. And after this season, he might be on one of your deals and then possibly just out of the league altogether. And the man had such great potential. You saw at Duke, he would have 20, 30-point games, if I remember right. But you could tell he wasn't taking over that lead role, because I want to say RJ Barrett was number 1 in that class. But Cam was number 2, and then Zion was lower on that list. or Cam wasn't number 2, but Cam was high on the list too. But at first, Zion was low on that list. Then all of a sudden, everything just switched, and Zion just went straight to number 1. Because when you have somebody that's 280 pounds and has a 40-inch vert and can dribble the basketball, it's going to make life a little bit easier. I don't care what anybody says. Because people playing basketball, naturally, you're running all day. You're not going to necessarily be that big. So when you do have somebody that's they can run just as fast as you and is 40 to 50 pounds heavier than you, yeah, it's going to make a big difference. But, yeah, Cam Reddish, I really thought he was going to be the guys. And you always hear Anthony Edwards talk about, well, they always play the clip of Anthony Edwards talking about who was the hardest player you played against in high school. And Cam Reddish name pops up. It pops up for a lot of players. So it sucks to see that because, and I wonder if it's mentally, I wonder if it's practice. I don't know, because I wonder if it's a bowl situation where he thinks he's going hard and maybe he's not going as hard as he needs to. I don't know. I don't know these guys' work ethics. So I don't want to just pin that on somebody. But when you've been in the league this long, he honestly should be one of these top scorers in these leagues. Like James Wiseman, okay, he's not one of the better scorers, okay. Ben Simmons, he doesn't have a jump shot, never had a jump shot. But Cam? No, Cam was supposed to be one of those guys. Cam was supposed to come in and possibly average 20 a game. So, and like 15 a game, I'd have been like, man, okay, Cam's okay. But Cam's doing less than that. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, you keep saying hopefully it turns around for these guys. But, I listen to Shannon a lot. And I think one thing he does say is when a guy shows you his true colors, believe him. And that's what he's doing. So, those are the 3 guys I think have a possible chance to be on basically their last chance this season. So, yeah. And talking about chances, we took a chance on this trade. And when I say we, I'm an Atlanta Hawks fan, so I like their news. And you're going to hear me throw some topics in there a lot of times. Last thing before we get into predictions. Will Dyson Daniels be a better fit next to Trae Young than DeJounte Murray? Okay. So, one thing we don't have to worry about is Trae Young having to worry about passing the ball to Dyson Daniels. Because Dyson Daniels better not ask for that ball at all. Say he get it on the wing, go score, get in transition. Okay. But that might be the only difference. He plays defense harder, but sometimes you have to play defense harder if you can't score the ball as well. So that's another thing. And I don't know if people know this, but Dyson Daniels shoots worse than DeJounte Murray. I want to put that out for people. So being a better fit, yeah, he might be a better fit because he's not going to shoot the ball as much. He might average 6 points a game. I might give him 10 if he's in the start. The thing is, he has to be in the starting lineup because my thing is, probably should go back to putting Bogey in the starting lineup, in my opinion. And Dyson, I think Dyson's like 6'6", 6'7", I think. And I guess I'm saying I think. I don't even have to think. I can look it up. But somebody like Dyson, let's just say he, for this scenario, he is in the starting lineup. I think we don't have to worry. He needs to be a cutter. Know that for a fact. Yeah, he doesn't need to worry about getting the ball at all. Oh, they have Dyson Daniels at 6'8" on here. I did not know that. 6'8". Okay. Yeah, but having a 6'8" wing that can't shoot the ball does not help us. What did he average last year? He averaged basically a little less than 6 points a game. And it was in 22 minutes a game. So I don't really see much more than that from him. If he's a starter, he might get up to 10, maybe. But unless he's going to be able to shoot, and he doesn't shoot free throws well either. So that's not a good indicator for having a good shot. So the only reason I say he might be a better fit is because Trey does not have to give him the ball. So instead of Trey averaging 25, he can average closer to 30 again. That and so Trey will be happy. That might be the better fit. But as far as the better player, he's not even close. Not even close. Honestly, I don't even know if he should be in a starting lineup. Because, well, I guess, let's think. Depends on how we want to play it. Because Hunter is supposed to be a defender, supposedly, but statistically, he's not. He's okay. Clint Capella is supposed to be a defender. Statistically, last year, he was not. And our 4-man is, why am I forgetting his name? The young guy out of Duke that didn't play for him. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Let me go to the roster. But one thing I do know, he's not a defender either. High flyer, but not a defender. So maybe that's why you would put Dyson Daniels in that starting lineup and move Bogey to the bench. So I guess that would make sense why when I read that article, Bogey was up for a potential 6-man. But I don't know. I don't know if I'd do that, though. I'd rather... Yeah, or I guess maybe so you can have somebody leading in the bench, because that is a lot of scoring in that lineup, just to start off. So maybe just to add some firepower. But yeah, I think Dyson Daniels is honestly a role player, and I think we don't necessarily need to forget that. Let me go to. I'm going to the roster. I didn't realize we got Cody Zeller. Nice. I'm trying to keep talking while I'm doing it. Jalen Johnson. There he goes. Yeah, Jalen Johnson's not necessarily a defender either. And we got Kobe Buffkin. Hopefully he can do something. Onyeka. Eventually they're going to have to trade Clint, because Onyeka needs to get on the court. And I know he's just 6'8", 6'9", but he can play the 5 for us. He's athletic enough for us to figure it out. So, a better fit, to answer the question, do I think he's a better fit? In regards to winning, I'll go yes. And the only reason is because DeJounte needs the ball too. And so Trey, and the thing is, Trey in a sense is going to be like Luka. Trey's not cutting to the basket. Trey is not getting anybody else open. Trey creates for himself or creates for others when he has the ball in his hand. Other than that, Trey is going to stand by that 3-point line or stand far away from the 3-point line so he can take those deep threes. And in this scenario now, Trey's going to have the ball majority of the time. And as he should, because Dyson Daniels shouldn't have it. Him, Bogdanovich, I guess Hunter sometimes, but Trey will have the ball majority of the time. And as long as he makes good decisions, we will be fine. It's when he does not. And my main problem is the shot selection. If he could fix that, because he gets assists. If you look at it, he averages like 26 and 10. Or one season was 28 and 10, I want to say. So he makes good decisions. It's just the shot selection. If he could fix that, I honestly think he just needs to step in. He just doesn't need to take as deep a 3. And I think he would be fine. Because it's not like because you know you have Steph, right? But you can tell Steph has gotten stronger. Trey hasn't gotten to that level yet. So I think it's messing him up. So when it goes in, it looks great, but it doesn't go in at a high enough percentage for him to shoot like that. If he was shooting those deep threes and shooting at 37, 38%, I'm like, okay, I can deal with that because you're making it at above league average clip. But when you're shooting 33% and you're supposed to be one of our best 3-point shooters on the team, yeah, no, I can't have you do that. So a better fit, yes, just because Trae Young would be a better fit with Dyson Daniels than DeJounte Murray because Dyson Daniels does not need the ball. And that is strictly the only reason. Not because Dyson Daniels is a better player than DeJounte. It's strictly because Trae is going to have the ball a majority of the time now. And he does not have to split those touches. All right. Now, what we are here for today. I just got a little paranoid. One of these videos, whenever it is watched, I believe it's episode 2, I cut off the stream, I think 37 minutes in for 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm just lucky that it came back on. I didn't even realize it came back on. I got so upset because I'm over here thinking I just recorded, and that was one of the longer streams too. I'm thinking I recorded an hour and a half of nothing. And I'm upset. And then I try to think of the positive side. I'm over here thinking to myself, okay, at least I got 37 minutes of record time. So at least I'll be able to use something and clip something up. And then I realized somehow it came back on. I didn't hit the button. But in the video, I see myself hit the button when I'm rewatching myself. I see myself hit the button. I'm like, oh. So now when I try to touch the mic, I'm trying to touch it from right here. And then I'll try to take a little glance down just to make sure I didn't accidentally hit it. But, okay. So we have NBA predictions, what we're here for. So this is an ESPN article. I want to see, similar to what I did yesterday, I want to see if I agree with it or if I disagree. And do the rundown. So, first one. Who will win NBA MVP next year? Starting from the bottom, going to the top. Number 10, Kevin Durant. Okay, I will give my opinions afterwards. Let's just read from 10 to 1. 10, Kevin Durant. 9, John Morant. 8, Anthony Davis. 7, Jason Tatum. 6, Joel Embiid. 5, Giannis. 4, Anthony Edwards. 3, Shea. 2, Jokic. And 1, Luka. Okay. So, I think you might as well throw Kevin Durant off this list because he's not going to win MVP. Might as well. I don't think it really matters what he does. He's not winning MVP. Ja, I would like to see Ja a little higher on this list. And it's similar to the reason why I think Shea should have won it this year. Because you see how bad the Grizzlies were without him, similar to how Oklahoma City was the year before. You see how bad they were before. And then when Shea takes a step up, they become better. So I think Luka and Jokic should basically be tied, but I don't know if they give I don't think they give Jokic a 4th MVP because it's going to be tough. He would have to be number 1 seed, I believe, this year to win MVP. Anthony Edwards, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because the top guys are going to have a mix between assists and points. A points assist, shoot pretty good from the field. Anthony Edwards does do that, and I don't think he'll do enough. Giannis, I would put Giannis back over Anthony Edwards. I think I want to put Shea 1, but I can't put Shea 1 because his team was a 1 seed and he still didn't win it. So they have to be a 1 seed again, and his numbers have to be better. I don't think that'll happen. I think Luka will probably win his first MVP this year. So let's go back to the bottom list. I think Ja, and I keep saying this, he's my dark horse to win MVP because he's potentially could take the Memphis Grizzlies from whatever seed they were this year back to the top of the West, and that should make him an MVP contender. Now, I'm not sure if the off the court stuff is going to factor into this at all, but I believe he should be an MVP contender. I think he should be a lot higher on this list. Anthony Davis does not have a shot at winning it, just because they're not going to put him over LeBron if LeBron and his numbers are close. Jason Tatum, I don't know. He's been disrespected a lot this summer and just this year in general. So would he win it? I honestly don't think he has a shot at winning a regular season MVP. His MVP would have to be a Finals MVP or Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Yeah, I couldn't see him winning regular season MVP. Not if somebody like Joel Embiid played the full season. He wouldn't win it over him either. But Joel, I believe is going to be under Jason Tatum just because now they have Paul George. So I would put that. John Morant, I would move John Morant over Shea. I would put John Morant 3. Just because I believe Shea would have to do too much. If you look at Jaw's stats, Jaw actually averages a good amount of points, has a good number of assists as well. But can Jaw average closer to 30? Because I think that's what it's going to take to win the MVP over somebody like Jokic or Doncic. So I will put Doncic 1. I will put Jokic 2. I would put John Morant 3. I would put Shea 4. I would keep Giannis at 5. I would put Anthony Edwards at, would I put him at 6 or Jason Tatum at 6? No, I put Anthony Edwards at 6. Jason Tatum 7. Joel Embiid 8. Anthony Davis 9. Kevin Durant 10. Honestly, I don't think Kevin Durant or Anthony Davis should be on this list at all. I think they just threw him on the list. But out of these 10 right here, I think that's who would be on the list. Honestly, 10 people, I think they only do 5. But 10 people is more than enough. I would rather have Jalen Brunson or somebody like that on this list. Who will win NBA Rookie of the Year? Okay. So the article has Zachary Reese-Shea, Alex Sarr, Rob Dillingham, Stephon Castle, Donovan Clingan, Zach Edey, or Reed Shepherd. Okay, so Reed Shepherd, I think, is probably a lock for number 1. Just based on how he played, I think the Rockets should give him the ball, put the ball in his hands. I know they have Fred VanVleet, so I'm not sure how that's going to work because they gave Fred a lot of money, but Fred might need to be the backup and just let this young guy play. Zach Edey being number 2. Offensively, I'm not sure how that works with him because he could be in a Steven Adams role, but where he gets a lot of dump offs, but he can actually score by the basket, but he's slow and he likes going over his left shoulder a lot. So he needs to work. He definitely needs to work on that because when he's forced to go the other way, he doesn't know what to do. But he might not have to worry about that, and he could play more of a Zubac role with the Clippers. He could play more of that role, and if he can do that, he can average like 11 and 10. Let's say 11-9, somewhere around those numbers. I think that would be good. I still don't think it's going to be above Reed Shepherd. I think Reed Shepherd could average 17 this year. Donovan Clingan, same thing. Do they play Ayton? Or are they going to start Clingan? Or do they play them both? I don't think they play them both because there's 2 slow-footed 7-footers out there. So they would have to make a decision whether they're keeping Ayton in the starting lineup or they're putting Clingan in the starting lineup. Stephon Castle. So Wemby's definitely going to take a step up. I think Devin Vassell is going to take a step up. And they have Chris Paul there who knows how to get assists, but also knows how to get a shot. I don't think Stephon Castle really has a shot. And Rob Dillingham, honestly, should be under both Reese-Shea and Alex Sarr. Because he'll be the 6th man, but they already have a 6th man. So he'll really be the 7th man. Yeah, Rob probably shouldn't be on this list. Reese-Shea, is going to be tough as well because one, you have Trey. Is Reese starting or is he coming off the bench? And then if he's starting, who are you putting on the bench? And if he starts, that means he's not going to get as many shots because Trey is going to get the ball. So we have to really look at that. Alex Sarr needs to be a little bit higher. He should be where Rob Dillingham probably is. Stephon Castle can stay where he's at. He's on a bad team. Zach Edey probably get dump offs. Donovan Clingan's on a bad team. So I wouldn't be even mad as swapping Stephon Castle and Clingan because I know at least Castle has Chris Paul on that team. And then I would put Alex Sarr up there, but Alex Sarr looked terrible. And I know he looked terrible, but the offseason, the Summer League, I couldn't think of Summer League. The Summer League's not an indicator on how good or bad you do. Yeah, because you had guys that killed it like Josh Selby in the Summer League and virtually did nothing in the NBA. So that doesn't matter. But Reece Sheppard being number one, definitely keep him there. Who will win Defensive Player of the Year? Man, they have too many people on this list. Okay. And I already don't agree with some of it. Wow. Okay. Tied for 10th, they have Chet Holmgren, Jaylen Brown, Herbert Jones. Tied for 9th, Evan Mobley, Jaren Jackson, Alex Caruso. Tied for 8th, Giannis, OG, Draymond. Number 7, Joel Embiid. Number 6, Drew Holiday. Number 5, Mikal Bridges. Number 4, Anthony Davis. Number 3, Bam. Number 2, Rudy. Number 1, Wembanyama. Okay. So this top 4, I think is a lock. I would leave it there. Now, what order they'll be in, I'm not sure. Well, Victor will be 1. I'm going to go ahead and say Victor will be 1 next year because he should have been 1 this year. Victor will be 1. Rudy, I'm not sure where Rudy will be. But the top 4 will definitely be, I will say, within the top 5 votes. The reason I say that, because if Giannis is healthy, Giannis is in that list too. Giannis should definitely be up there. Drew, by virtue, Drew's a great defender, but height usually plays a big difference. And Drew is starting to get a little bit older. And I don't think he'll ever be able to crack this. Just because, one, he's on a great defensive team already. Which does help numbers, but he's on a great defensive team already. And so I don't think he could crack that top 5. I don't think so. Not if Giannis is healthy. Mikal Bridges, I think, needs to fall. Me personally. Seeing how he might be will he be the number 2 option? Depending on what they do with Julius Randle. If he's the number 3 option, maybe he'll play more defense. But if he's the number 2 option, you can throw that out the window. Joel Embiid should not be on this list. Yeah, he's a good defender, but he shouldn't be on the list. Get Draymond off this list too. OG can be on the list, but it's not going to matter. Caruso, as far as Defensive Player of the Year, he's not going to win it. Jaren Jackson fouls entirely too much, but I wouldn't put him over the top 5 I said. And Victor Wembanyama, Rudy Gobert, Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, and Giannis. I wouldn't put him over them. Evan Mobley, he can possibly be in that mold, but I don't see him cracking. Herbert Jones, another good defender. I think Chet should be higher on this list too, though. I would put Chet above. They have Joel Embiid on this list at 7. I would put Chet above Joel Embiid. Yeah, he's a really good defender. Same with Jaylen Brown and Herbert Jones. Honestly, Joel Embiid shouldn't be on this list. 6-man. We did 6-man last time, so I will skip that for now. Most improved player. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Be honest with you, this article has a lot more than I thought. So I was about to run some other predictions, but I guess we're saving that for tomorrow because that's a lot more than I was thinking it was going to be. Because this article is still scrolling. Okay, it's not that bad actually. Yeah, it's not that bad. And again, my sixth man of the year. Who did I say for sixth man? I'm about to, since we're gonna end it with this article. All right, just to go back over it. All right, sixth man. They have C.J. McCollum on the list. Bojan Bogdanovic with the Nets, the guy that was on the Jazz back in the past. Austin Reeves, Josh Hart, Norman Powell, Jose Alvarado, Bogdan Bogdanovic with our Atlanta Hawks, Russell Westbrook, Bobby Portis, T.J. McConnell, Jaime Jaquez, Naz Reid, Alex Caruso, and Malik Monk. Okay. I think I've already stated I don't think Malik Monk will win it just because DeMar DeRozan is on that team now. Yeah, with Harrison Barnes, you didn't have to worry about shots, but DeMar DeRozan, Debo's getting the ball. Alex Caruso will not win it either. I don't care how good he was on the Bulls. He won't have the same opportunity with Oklahoma City Thunder. Naz Reid is virtually in the same situation. So let's keep him on top of mind. Jaime Jaquez, I don't think he'll be part of the bench unit. And isn't who's the other guard? Tyler Hero? I thought he was their sixth man, unless they're putting him in the starter lineup now. Yeah, because Tyler Hero is the sixth man. Jaime Jaquez has no shot at winning this, and Jaime should be in the starting lineup anyway. T.J. McConnell, he won't win it. It's the fun story. He always plays well, but he won't win it. Bobby Portis, I think those days are over. Same with Russell Westbrook. Since he's going to the Nuggets, he becomes, the fourth option behind Michael Porter? And not really, but he becomes the fourth option. If Bogdan Bogdanovic is on the bench, he has a shot at winning this thing because Bogey could average 20. Jose Alvarado, I believe, doesn't have a shot. He doesn't score well enough. Norman Powell has a legitimate shot. They lost Paul George. Russell Westbrook is gone. Kawhi's probably only going to play 50-something games. Norman Powell has a legit shot at winning this thing. I would put Norman Powell a lot higher than. Josh Hart, I don't truly think he does. Not with all the scoring that's in New York right now. Austin Reeves is a starter, so I'm a little confused myself. C.J. McCollum. We talked about this yesterday, and I know it just skipped over Bojan, but the Brooklyn Nets, I don't think they're going to be good enough to be even considered. But C.J. McCollum. If C.J. McCollum winds up coming off the bench, I think he could give you 15. Consistently, actually, because he's a 20-point per game scorer. So if he decides to come off the bench, that might be actually a very interesting pick for a six-man. But my top three from this list, Norman Powell, Bogey from the Hawks, and I'll keep Naz Reid in there just because of what he did. But I think out of this list, Norman Powell is probably the guy I'd pick to win sixth man of the year. And it seems like a dark horse, but I'm pretty certain if he's still a six man, because Norman Powell, when I look back, I know a lot of times I look at points per possession. I like to look at that model because it tells me how efficient a player is versus how they turn the ball over, the shot charts, if they're good in isolation, if they're good in catch and shoot scenarios. So Norman Powell was just a good shooter. I won't even say good. He was a great shooter almost everywhere on the court last year. So if he could continue that, I think he should be higher on this list. He might not have the same name recognition as these other guys do, but if I had to put my stamp, I would put Norman Powell for this. I need to write some of these down. So if I come back, I can reference these. Most improved player. Let's go. Tied for 10, Jalen Green and Jalen Johnson. Oh, also RJ Barrett. Number 9, Jalen Suggs. Number 8, Jonathan Kuminga. Number 7, Tyrese Halliburton. Number 6, Şengün. Tied for 6, I apologize, Devin Vassell. 5, Cam Thomas. 4, Cade Cunningham. 3, Kobe White. Tied for first is Jalen Williams and Victor Wembanyama. Okay, so I think Victor would have to average like 28 and 12 for this. Jalen Williams also probably would have to average about 22, 23 points a game. Kobe White could have won it this year. So for him to win it next year, he would probably have to jump up in scoring as well. Cade already averages 22. Cam always starts off hot, but then it seems like the coach set him down for whatever reason. But he should have more of an opportunity this year. Devin Vassell, a very efficient scorer, but and he has a shot. He does have a shot. Şengün, just right off this list, would he average 20 and 8? Or he might have been close to 20 and 10. But if I was to pick somebody right now, just reading names on the list, he would be on there. Tyrese Halliburton should not be on this list. I don't think you can be. He would have to go from third team All-NBA to first team All-NBA. And I don't think that's going to happen. So he shouldn't be on the list. Kuminga, actually, I might have to switch my pick. Kuminga might be the guy where I say most improved. He might have the best shot. All right, so Kuminga and Şengün are my two right now. Jalen Suggs, no. RJ Barrett, I don't think so. I think if anybody, it would be Emmanuel Quickly, in my opinion. Jalen Johnson, no. He's not. I don't think he can really do too much more than what he's done. Jalen Green, I thought this guy was going to be amazing when he came into the league, and it really hasn't materialized for real. So if he does he would have to get a lot better himself to win it, but it's not looking like it right now. But if I had to pick right now, I have Şengün, and where is he? Not Cam. Oh, Kuminga. Yeah. I think I would go Kuminga out of the two, just because Kuminga really hasn't had a starting role for real. Now, it depends on Steve Kerr. If Steve Kerr starts him, then okay, he'll win. He has a shot at winning most improved. If Steve Kerr does not start the man, then I'm going Şengün, because there's no way he should not be starting with the lineup they currently have now. No way that he should not be starting. And the last thing on the docket today, because if not, we might be here for 2 hours, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I could save some of this. Who will win Coach of the Year? All right, number 10, Jamal Mosley with Orlando Magic. Number 9, Ime Udoka with the Houston Rockets. Number 8, Eric Spoelstra, Miami Heat. Number 7, Taylor Jenkins, Memphis Grizzlies. Number 6, Nick Nurse, Philadelphia. Number 5, Kenny Atkinson, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Number 4, Greg Popovich, San Antonio. Number 3, Joe Mazzulla, Celtics. Number 4, Mark Daigneault, the Thunder. And number 1, Tom Thibodeau, the Knicks. Okay, so start off. Number 1 and 2, I don't think they can have a better season than what they had last year. 1, 2, and 3. They can't have a better season than they had last year. Joe Mazzulla would have to win close to 70 games. Daigneault would have to be around about 60, 65. And the Knicks would just need to be clear 1 seed for Thibodeau to win it, which I don't think is personally going to happen with any of those guys. So I'm going to take all 3 of them off my list. So we have Greg, Kenny, and Nick Nurse as the next 3. Greg Popovich would have to be a top 4 seed for him to win, and that's not happening. Let's throw that out. Kenny Atkinson, possibly. There'll be a top 4 seed at the minimum, but he still would have to win. Let me see. How many wins did? Let me see. Let me type in Donovan Mitchell real quick. Let me see how many wins the Cavaliers actually had last year. Because if they had 50 wins, there's no way they go over that. They were 48 and 34 last year. They would need to win like 57 games. I don't really see them improving that much. So I'm going to take Kenny off this list. Nick Nurse, the Sixers. Because the thing is now I'm like, let me look at rosters so I can kind of get an idea. By first, off the top of my head, I'm thinking no. But I need to see how many games they actually won. They was 47-35. No, Nick Nurse could potentially win it then. Let's keep Nick Nurse on there if they won 47 games last year, because they could potentially win 57 games. They could win a little bit more than that. It all depends on Joel Embiid's health. Same with Paul George, really. Now, who I think will be coach of the year, and I think I'm making it very, very clear, I think this team will be a lot better than what they were last year, is the Memphis Grizzlies. So right now I would put Taylor Jenkins as my coach of the year if I had to just throw it out there right now. So right now I have Nick Nurse, Taylor Jenkins, Spoelstra. I think the Heat are just going to be who they are. Eric is a very good coach, but I think the Heat's just going to be who they are. Ime Udoka, he would have to get the Rockets into, I think, a top 6 seed as the bare minimum. And I still don't think that would be enough. And then Jamal Mosley with the Magic. They would have to, I wonder if I can just see their record. The Orlando Magic it's showing last year. The Orlando Magic would have to be a top, man, I don't even know. Well, I do know, but they're not going to do it. They would need to be a top 3 team. What was their record? What was Orlando's record last year? I don't know why I just decided to look at it like this, because now I can't even see. They won 47 games last year. They would need to win 50 plus games this upcoming season. I don't see them doing that. I'm sorry, Magic fans. Your team is good. You have a lot of rising talent, but the East has a lot of talent in general, especially at the top of the East. And I don't think y'all can crack that just yet. So I don't think he could be a coach of the year either. I'm sorry, Jamal. Yeah, I would not put you as a coach of the year candidate right now. So my 3, it might just be 2. I have Nick Nurse. I have Taylor Jenkins. I don't think Ime can win it, so let's take him off. So my coach of the year will be Taylor Jenkins. Nick Nurse, possibly second place. I think the Memphis Grizzlies will have a major turnaround this season. And in turn, Taylor Jenkins will win coach of the year because of it. I guess they did have other voters. Did they do that for all of them? Oh, man. They did. I forgot to read them. Maybe I can do a video just reading the honorable mentions. But guys, that is the end of the video today. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. I wonder, do I do topics the fans want to talk about, or do I do topics I want to talk about? I think hey, I guess it depends on what gets views. But right now, I think I'm gonna do what I want to talk about, and then we'll figure everything else out later. All right, guys. Till next time.